So, what's up, Loud Sports? Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose to the Chicago Bears 20-19 on Thursday Night Football because, of course they do, because it's prime time where everybody could be watching. The Buccaneers will find a way to lose because that's what we do. Even when we have Tom Brady as our quarterback, we find ways to lose on prime time on national television. It is very frustrating. Now, some factors into this, I have to say that the officiating all around was just absolute garbage. Terrible, terrible penalties. And I'm not going to just say it was on the Buccaneers. The Bears had terrible penalties against them too. I'll be completely fair there. But there were multiple times. There was a missed face mask call. There was a complete, absolute bogus roughing the passer penalty on Nick Foles where Shaq Barrett barely touches his chin and there's a flag. Can't seem to get that on the other side of the field when there's a late hit, or a face mask, like I mentioned, on a punt return. Can't seem to catch those. But when it's time for the Bucs to line up, they magically get penalty after penalty and get a 1st and 30. Then there's a penalty of a personal foul or unnecessary roughness or whatever it was called. It was in that realm, a 15-yarder for a headbutt, which was the weakest headbutt I've ever seen. I've seen better headbutts on WWE. Okay, so that was bogus, and I guess you could get technical with the rule on that, whatever. And then let's go back to how the Bears got their second touchdown of this game. You have the play where Sean Vaughn catches a pass over the middle, gets leveled, which I think it was the right call to pick up the penalty. It was a clean hit. It was a good hit. But to say, even if you go on the lines of, okay, it was a catch, he took 2 steps, it's a catch and a fumble. Let's say it is. There wasn't an immediate recovery there. There was hesitation. Nobody jumped on the ball. They literally let the ball sit there for about a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds before somebody reacts. My understanding is if it's an immediate reaction or immediate recovery, it's bang, bang, play. Let alone that it could be disputed that was an incomplete pass. Why does Nick Foles magically become a much better quarterback when he plays Tom Brady? Why did we get the receiving end of Big Dick Nick? Why? Why is it us? Why did it have to happen? It's just very frustrating because Packers are next, and Packers look extremely good this year. There's not a lot of holes in that team. And Tampa is right on the cusp of being great, but they can't seem to get out of their own way. You can't win a football game when all you can do is get field goals because you're getting penalty after penalty after penalty when you get to the red zone. But there's positives. Believe it or not, there were positives tonight. I think Ronald Jones stepped up in a big way. He kind of lost his job a little bit to Leonard Fournette after the Panthers game. But I think he's coming back on with Fournette being... He was active tonight, but he didn't play, and you had McCoy that was out, so it was nice to see Rojo step up. Gronk and Brady, that connection's starting to come back, and there's that chemistry starting to come through again. But and by the way, I think Brady can count to 4. I do. I think that he was trying to trick someone. I hope that's the excuse. I hope that passes as something that happened. Otherwise, then the old man jokes will never stop this season. But the Chicago Bears had to be the luckiest team in the NFL right now. To be 4-1 right now with Nick Foles. I still think this team is capable of being 11-5. I really do. Hold on, I have to drink my sorrows. But the only way it's going to do that is if this offensive line can get it together, because the Bears ate them alive. And there were way too many penalties on the offensive line, too many holding penalties, and forcing 3rd and 25s and 3rd and 15s, and it's hard to win football games when you're doing that. And to dominate possession like they did in the first half and only get 13 points says a lot about them, with the penalties. Because you can't afford to commit 10 penalties against the Packers. The Bucs were lucky they were in this. They're lucky that this game turned out the way it was because defense played really well in the second half. Bears defense played phenomenal. I'll give them that. But the defense played really well. That's a positive note for me. I think that they made big plays when they needed to. Had that big interception early, but if they could have just maybe have gotten one or two more plays. But again, it's hard when you're out there as long as they were. Final thoughts on the I don't even know. That game was the ugliest, stupidest, pathetic excuse for a football game. Just ugly. Ugly. Terrible officiating. I'm so glad it was on Fox, so I didn't have to pay to watch that bull crap. So, yeah. Final thoughts are you got to clean, and it's the same every week. But you cannot. This team is on the cusp of something great, but they have to stop making stupid penalties. I'm Jake Williams. This is Jake's Takes for the Buccaneers. Week 5 against the Bears. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Let me know in the comments section down below. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. When you do subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you get notifications. And you can listen to our podcast on Anchor.fm, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts, you can listen to it there. And go Bucs, I guess.